Today we're looking at a Gerard Perrigaux from 1943, I think. This could be even earlier than that. And this is the original Sea Hawk. This is a watch that GP or Gerard Perrigaux made for really folks who were fighting in the Second World War. This was originally not available for civilian use, but obviously after the war finished, the you found this watch in civilian hands. It's a 32 millimeter width and about 39 millimeter lug to lug. It has the original radium markings on its hands and on the Arabic numbers. The watch is in perfect order, and it really is a pleasure to use this watch. The one thing that I really do like about this watch is just how easy it is to wind this watch. All vintage GPs have a really large crown compared to the size, because this is a small 32 millimeter watch, but the crown, and I'm so thankful to GP because they have really large crowns which make them very easy to use. Obviously it has a second hand at the 6 o'clock mark. The Seahawk brand would stay with GP through the 1950s, 60s to the present day. But the Seahawk, the original Seahawk that this watch is, it was really a general purpose watch. It had some level of water resistance, nothing significant. But this was not a diver watch. The Seahawk, the way GP saw it, was a watch that if you were a pilot or you were on a ship, it's a watch you would use to just keep time. These are very reliable movements. I think this is a 17 jewel movement. Should be a caliber B17. I have it on a lizard grain strap, and it just looks really good. This is a solid gold watch, so this, it's just one of those. And obviously the watch has never been polished, nor will it ever be polished, because I like the patina. There's a little bit of corrosion that's happening on the dial. You can see it in that angle. And that's just what happens when your watch is almost 80 years old. Now a little bit about Girard Perregaux. They start in 1791, so GP is one of the oldest of Swiss watchmakers. But it's only in 1850 that they take the name Gerard Perrigaux from the owner's marriage to Marie Perregaux. I think it was Constant Girard Gallet who was the owner, and then married Marie Perregaux, and that's how it becomes a Girard Perrigaux. The company goes on to win a lot of accolades in the late 19th century. And before you had Omega and Rolex, there was Girard Perregaux. These days, Girard Perregaux cost a lot of money. But in the 1940s, these weren't that expensive. I mean, obviously, this wasn't a cheap watch. You would not have a solid gold watch that was ever cheap. But watches in the 40s and 50s were not priced as crazily as watches are today, where they are just complete luxury items. It does wear, it's too close to the camera, I can't really show you how it wears on the wrist, but it wears pretty well. Let me see if I can get a wrist shot. And it's the loom has just the right amount of age. Obviously, the radium loom does not work, but in the 1940s and 50s and through the 60s, really for the first 30 years, you could read the hour index markers and the Arabic numbers, as well as the hour and minute hands when it got dark. So this was obviously designed to be a very utilitarian watch, but at the same time, it was designed to be a, a reasonably premium watch. This was not a cheap watch under any circumstances. I do like how restrained the text of Gerard Perrigaux is. It's really small, it's kind of hard to read, and you can barely see that there's the Swiss made lettering at the bottom. It's actually covered up by the tension ring. I need to remove that tension ring and reposition the dial. It anyway doesn't matter. It's so not much to talk. I just wanted to show you guys my GP. It's one of the few GPs I have, but I think this is the GP that I'm fondest of. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, not much to talk about. Just enjoy the watch. Please be sure to hit subscribe. It's just, you have to just click the button. I don't send notifications, so you're not going to get any notifications from me, but it does help with the YouTube algorithm if I have more subscribers. So thanks for subscribing, and be sure to hit like, and I'll see you on another video.